I quit. Not in a clickbait way, not in a I quit. But here's why you shouldn't weigh. I'm actually done. For the past year, I've been posting videos about discipline, stoicism, emotional control, and playing the long game. I did the whole thing. Scripts, thumbnails, late nights, overthinking titles, listening to all the advice, telling myself this would eventually pay off. And after all of that, I'm sitting here not even at 500 subs. A year in. Money gone, energy gone. And I'm not going to stand here and pretend it's all part of some bigger plan. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it just doesn't work. I didn't come on YouTube just to express myself or document the journey. I came here because I wanted it to work. I wanted growth, money, freedom, a way out. I wanted this channel to change my situation. I did what everyone says you should do. Be disciplined, be consistent, post regularly, improve thumbnails, learn storytelling, try to give value, try to speak with purpose. I did that for months and almost a full year. And nothing really moved. People will still say, it takes time, trust the process, just keep going. But at some point, you have to look at the scoreboard and admit the obvious. Hard work is not a guarantee of anything. We're told discipline is the key, and yeah, it's a key. But it's not the whole lock. There's also timing, luck, who randomly shouts you out, who clicks your video at 2 a.m., whether the algorithm decides to sneeze your content into someone's feed. There are people who post nonsense and blow up in 3 months. There are people who grind for years and never get seen. That's not always mindset. That's just how the game works. I'm not here to say discipline is useless. It helped me show up, write scripts, think deeply, create. It made me sharper in some ways. But if we're talking results, numbers, money, the life-changing flips that people romanticize, then discipline is only one part. A lot of this is luck and system. YouTube is not a fair judge of effort. It doesn't care how long you spent editing or how much you believed in the message. It cares about clicks, retention, and invisible decisions made by code you'll never see. And that's the part nobody wants to admit, because it kills the nice, clean, motivational story. It's way easier to say, if you failed, it's because you didn't grind hard enough, than to say, sometimes you can do your best and still not get picked. I'm not interested in pretending that this channel secretly succeeded in some spiritual way. From a results perspective, it didn't. And I'm allowed to say that out loud without putting a positive spin on it. We live in a time where everyone sells you the same story. If you want it badly enough, you'll make it. If you grind hard, the universe will reward you. If you stay disciplined, it has to pay off. No, it doesn't have to do anything. You can do everything right and still lose. You can show up every day and still be invisible. People love to post their success and say, I'm proof this works. But what they never show you are the thousands of people who did the exact same things and got nothing. That's survivorship bias. We glorify the winners and ignore the graveyard of people who also tried. Not because they were lazy, not because they were undisciplined, but because they weren't picked. And when you're one of the ones who wasn't picked, all the nice quotes about grit start sounding like jokes. I've also realized that if we're being real about billionaires and extreme success, it's not just about waking up at 4 a.m. and drinking water. A lot of that level is built on leverage, timing, exploitation, connections, being in certain rooms with certain people. It's built on underpaying someone, or charging too much, or squeezing every drop of value out of people who don't know better. Can you get rich without exploiting people? Some do. But the system itself rewards whoever can squeeze the most, not whoever is the most disciplined and moral. If you want to play at that level, you're not just learning mindset, you're learning how to extract. I'm not here to teach you how to extract from people. I'm not going to sit here and say, keep grinding, bro. One day you'll be a millionaire if you just never give up. You might not. And it's not always going to be your fault. To the few people who actually watched, commented, dropped a little statue emoji, listened all the way through, thank you. Genuinely. You didn't change the algorithm, but you helped me get through some long nights. I'm not going to pretend this channel changed my life. But I will admit, it taught me a harsh lesson about effort, expectations, and the stories we're sold. Even the StOIC stuff I talked about. A lot of it starts to feel like noise when rent is due and your life isn't moving. It's easy to talk about acceptance and peace when things are stable. When you're stressed about money and watching your plans fall apart, the philosophy starts to sound like a bad joke. That doesn't mean all of it is fake, but it does mean there's a huge gap between theory and surviving reality. So this is it for this channel. I'm not promising a comeback arc. I'm not saying this is just the beginning. I'm saying I'm done, for real. I'll probably leave the videos up for a while and then eventually I'll delete the channel. Not out of bitterness, just because I don't want a museum of something that didn't go where I thought it would. Maybe one day I'll start something else, somewhere else, with a different approach. Maybe I won't. Right now, I don't know, and I don't need to know. What I do know is that I'm not going to keep pouring energy into something that clearly isn't giving anything back. At some point, quitting is not weakness. It's math. It's looking at the numbers and saying, this isn't working and I can't afford to keep pretending it will. If you're watching this because you're in a similar place, burnt out, broke, tired of being told, one more push. You're not crazy for wanting to stop. You're not weak for saying this isn't working. You're allowed to walk away from things that drain you. I'm not going to end this with never give up, because sometimes you should give up on this strategy, this project, this approach, so you still have energy left for something else. So yeah, I quit. No dramatic music, no secret twist, just I'm done. Thanks for being here while I tried. You can stay or leave at this point, it doesn't matter. Thanks for seeing something in me, especially those who subscribed, and commented. I do appreciate it all.